Qigong. Qigong is an ancient art of transformation thought to have originated as a form of dancing more than 5,000 years ago. It was a secret art handed down orally from master to disciple in unbroken lineages spanning thousands of years. Those warriors, artists, monks and wise men fortunate enough to receive this transmission became members of a secret group. All of them dedicated their lives to one thing, the Tao, cultivating universal energy. Qi means breath or air. Gong is a general term meaning work or self-discipline. Hence the term Qigong translates as energy exercises. These exercises are soft and gentle, anyone can learn, no special equipment or expensive facilities are needed. It is the perfect form of self-health care and reflects the Taoist philosophy of looking to nature for healing.
Fans that
a happy little cloud.
From birth, we are all taught what our parents have been taught, which is often simply what their parents have taught them. We take this in without ever asking many questions, such as who we are, why we are here, and why things are the way they are. Generations have passed, trends have changed, technologies have emerged, and communication has opened the doors for new evolutionary ideas and insights that are pushing the envelope on society's boundaries. The more we look at it, the more we realize that we simply create conditions for the body based on what we choose to experience. Nothing that we accept today as fact about the body has to be the way it is. It is projected as it needs to be, and is able to mold to our consciousness as we change it. We may have analytical data that shows the body must be a certain way, but the science that shows this is simply based on the consciousness creating the current state of the body. In other words, the science is limited to one point in time. As things shift, instead of rewriting science, we have simply held on to the archaic understandings. Let's take, for example, someone who practices sungazing. Sungazing is the process of using the energy from the sun to feed the body. This form of body nourishment is currently practiced by many people on the planet. The way it works is simple. When you look at what everything we eat fundamentally is, it is all nutrient energy from the sun. We consume the food and get the energy. By sungazing, you are simply going directly to the source of the energy and taking it into the body. If practiced enough, one is able to stop eating food completely and simply feed in this manner. To the mind, this may sound far-fetched, but this in fact can be achieved. All that is happening is the consciousness driving the body is choosing to step out of the programmed belief that we must be nourished by food. The body then adapts to the new consciousness and becomes fully capable of feeding directly from the source.
What sungazing shows us is that even within the programmed requirement of an external source of energy, the body is quite capable of altering the way that it feeds. The body does this by adapting the way it operates based on the consciousness that's driving it.
Well, now I understand this internet concept, this internet concept.
So with sun gazing, the best time of the day to start is the first 45 minutes of the sunrise and the last 45 minutes of the sunset. Now, this is the best time to do it because at this time, there's actually no UV rays being emitted by the sun. To start, you want to start first time with 10 seconds. And each day as you progress, you want to do it every day, you'll add on another 10 seconds. So the first day will be 10 seconds, then 20 seconds the next day, and then 30, and then so on, until you reach a point where you're sun gazing for about 44 minutes. Now, 44 minutes will be the cutoff point, because at this point, you're going to see radical changes within the body. You're going to feel a lot lighter, you're going to feel a lot more energy, you'll be eating less, and just your vibration, your energy will overall be a lot higher, and your immunity, your immune system will be top notch. You literally won't get sick at all. I know sun gazing sounds pretty crazy, but there is an Indian man who goes by the name of HRM. Now, he's a world-renowned sun gazer, and I believe since 1995 he hasn't consumed any food other than just boiled water. There's a group of 21 scientists that actually wanted to study him. They wanted to study his daily life. They set out a course of 411 days where they did actually study him daily. He just basically lived his regular life. And they studied his vital signs, how his organs were functioning. At the end of the 411 days, they concluded that all his vital signs were perfectly normal. His body function and mind-body health was absolutely perfectly normal. Now, you can just imagine, coming from a scientific mind and what science has told us about how the body works and what it requires, it literally shattered everything they thought they knew about the body. This completely opens the door up for us to understand that the body can utilize other energy sources, and that there's actually no limits. I mean, the potential is endless for how we can utilize energy within the physicality.
If we take things even a step further, we can look at the food we consume. What is it made of? The food on the planet is simply a creation, a projection we as Source have created. The food is essentially made of the exact same energy or consciousness that we are. If we are consuming food, which is already what we are, why can't we just use the energy from our bodies already? No external source required. To understand how we consciously create, we can take a look at two very practical examples. Examples that show that our entire reality is created by our consciousness, and that fundamentally we are connected with everything in this universe. We are connected to each other, the planet, the animal kingdom, the environment, and every other physical thing in existence. For the first example, let's take a look at some of the work published by Cleve Baxter in the book The Secret Life of Plants. To give you some background, Cleve's intention was to determine if there truly was a conscious connection behind all living things. If found to be true, he wanted to further discover if the consciousness of one living thing could affect the consciousness of another. This is what he found.
During the next 6 hours, at some undetermined moment chosen by a randomizer, these brine shrimp will fall to their deaths in boiling water. In another room, completely separate from his laboratory, Baxter has placed the philodendron plant, a polygraph, and a videotape recorder. Carefully, he places a leaf between a pair of electrodes that will monitor the electrical activity of the plant.
For the automation of this experiment to be successful, I have to get a certain distance away from my lab so that my consciousness won't affect the results.
results of each night's work must be carefully analyzed and recorded. In spite of his high percentage of successful results, only a few daring individuals from the scientific establishment have come forward with offers to replicate his experiments or test his results. The great majority are content simply to condemn his efforts without taking the trouble to investigate their validity.
A few brine shrimp die and a plant feels their death. I think it's the smallness of the event that makes it so significant. It means that even on the lower levels of life, there's a profound consciousness or an awareness that binds all things together.
The results of this experiment clearly show us that there truly is a conscious connection between all elements of nature. So much so that even when one small part of nature is affected, it ripples its effect onto nature as a whole. When we look at the world today, we all know that we consistently pollute the air, the water, and the environment quite intensely with toxic waste. Applying the understanding we gained from the experiment, think now of how our actions are affecting the nature of the entire planet. Every single thing on the planet is affected by every single one of our actions. From this we can understand very clearly that both human intention and consciousness are inherently connected to all living things. We in fact are connected consciously to everything on this planet and in our universe. This is because everything is made up of vibrating matter, all connected and made up of one consciousness.